Happy Monday. We are back.
We are back, baby.
Back. Well,
yeah.
you've been working. I see you on multiple podcasts a week. So
I think that's just what I do.
Well
I'm like a fractional podcaster. I think that's like podcaster for hire if you need like just some random person to fill a seat.
Like a fractional CFO, but like just
fractional podcast guest or host. Maybe that's a new thing. Like, don't know how to get started.
It's a new shtick for Ashley. Yeah. Just be like, I'll come in and I'll be your...
I'll help you. I'll be your
hold
whoopee.
Your hand around it. Yeah, you're great at that.
Yeah.
Love that. How's it going? What'd I miss all week? What was last week for you?
I don't know that you missed a ton. I mean, we missed you, but we knew you were living your best life in Machu Picchu. I got it right this time.
Machu Picchu, yes. We had an amazing time. It felt like we were there for a long time, but when I look back, it was really only like, I think I was there for 8 days in Peru. And we just pack it with stuff. So I'm tired. We even squeezed in one last hike before we got off the Inca Trail on Thursday, and my goal was to leave on Friday. So Thursday, like 10 p.m., we're like back in the hotel, and we're like done. Like, oh my God, I need a shower.
And you went and did another hike.
And then the next morning, we had to get up at 3 a.m. They leave and they take you to Rainbow Mountain, which is higher than we had been. Cusco's at like 10,000 feet ish. Okay. And then our hike through the Inca Trail was somewhere between like 10 and 14,000 feet is about the peak, which is you have about 60% of the oxygen
that's rough.
So you feel it. And then Rainbow Mountain's at 17,000 feet, which is about...
I think it's a Mario Kart.
Rainbow Road.
Oh, Rainbow Road
is what we're looking for. Yes, the one with no walls that drives everybody crazy. Yeah, Rainbow Road. But it's this beautiful... like series of kind of cascading mountains that have just mineral deposits in these lines that create this like beautiful landscape. And that's kind of the takeaway in Peru. It's so geographically diverse. I mean, you have the Amazon rainforest, you have these high mountains in the Andes, and you've got this the Atacama Desert, which literally has no recorded rainfall since they put sensors there. Like nothing lives there. It's where they go record like Mars movies. Because it resembles Mars like to a T.
Okay.
And so it's just so diverse. I think we're figuring out that the more we go do and see, the more we realize that we haven't seen anything. Yeah. And that's like for every country. Like that goes for like Peru. We're talking to lots of travelers that are coming through, and they're there for 3 months, 4 months. God. Like coming up from like Patagonia or like coming up doing like a South American tour, and we're like, man, we haven't seen any of the stuff you guys are talking about.
Now here's the important question. Did you keep up with your wife? So
because
she's been going on like this. She's like been real prepared over the last few months.
Way better. So day 2 of the Inca Trail is the hardest. You go over what's called Dead Woman's Pass, and it's basically like a mile hike up, like steps over this big peak and then back down. Okay. And I was dying at that. Like the up, she got me. Like she's like, I'm looking at my heart rate. I couldn't get my heart rate like under 130 for like resting, because there's no oxygen, and your body's just like, give me oxygen. So that was tough. On the way down, my knees are better than her knees.
Oh, okay. So you got her there.
I got her. Yeah. So
that's great.
But it was great. We survived. Rainbow Mountain's at 17,000 feet, so that was a little higher, but we were acclimated. So acclimatized, I don't know, one of those things. I think they both mean the same thing. But that's about the elevation of Everest base camp. Okay. Right. So like where everybody kind of starts that Everest hike, and it is thin. Okay. You can feel like when you draw a breath that it's just not quite the same. So I came back here at what's essentially sea level. What are we, like 700 feet? And I was like, I'm Superman.
I just take a deep breath.
Like all of this oxygen. Like it's so great. So anyway, it was a magical trip. The people were fantastic. The food is something I didn't expect. Was absolutely remarkable.
And here I am. I don't like going to the grocery store alone. Yeah. And you guys went to Peru. Well, so, Mike.
We're doing good at getting out of our comfort zone. I was trying to equate this back to kind of like be local, because when we do a lot of this traveling, it's really, we're going into a new place. Like a lot of like my new movers are coming into a new area, and it's really easy to settle into creature comforts. Things like if you go to the big square in Cusco, Peru, like one of the main plazas there's a McDonald's on the corner. There's a Columbia Sportswear like right over here, right? It's really easy to settle into those things that you're very comfortable and know.
Name identity.
When everything else is weird, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so luckily we were able to connect with some people that had been there a while that provide good recommendations that pointed us in the direction of things that were like locally sourced, local people. We found, instead of going and buying the little like salesy trinkets that are mass produced in like China or Vietnam and shipped over here.
Right.
Like we found the people that are like on the loom, like making the baby alpaca like beanies, right? And like buying from them, finding local artists that are creating art there, and are really passionate about what they're doing. I can't wait to show you the piece that we have that we bought to go above our mantle.
Awesome.
It's an abstract of Machu Picchu that's depicted the night before the summer solstice. Okay. And so it's not based on the perspective. It's not where the sun comes through this place called the Sun Gate, and it creates this like massive sundial, goes through at the summer solstice, goes through the Sun Gate, through this temple, and shines on this altar. And so it's just really remarkable. They're excellent astronomers, and just had this kind of down to a T. But he did it the night before, and so like the moon's position's accurate, and like all of it's very abstract. It's just very cool. I can't wait to show you. So we found a couple good artists, but we wouldn't have found that without like a good guide, like a good resource. It's easy when you don't have the guidance to fall back into things that are comfortable, especially when things are weird. Even though we know it's not the best. Like going to McDonald's, is that the best experience we could have in Cusco? Absolutely not, right? So
even though I'm sure it's dramatically different than McDonald's
sure we didn't even
here.
go inside. We're just like, we're not going to. And part of me was tempted to just see what the experience was, but there was so much excellent food that actually. So Kat stayed behind. After I left, she's still there.
Well, that's what I thought I saw in your post. That's why I was like, she stayed behind in Peru. I don't like to go to the grocery store alone. Yeah. So how weird?
I think she's ready for me to go home because she travels so well by herself that
she's like, and now really I need my time.
Yeah, like I want to go do my thing. So she went and got a massage and a pedicure because it was raining. She went shopping around town. She's staying in like little hostels, so she's meeting people. I like to have a private bathroom. Like I like to have, if anything, like I don't really care. I'll sleep in like a bunch of people, but like I want a private space to like get ready and like a good sanitary toilet space. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm not sleeping around other people either. Yeah. So
okay.
like
Kat's totally fine with that. I don't mind that. But the like I think it's great.
I think, I mean, I would say yes.
Yeah. So she doesn't mind that at all. So she's been hopping around hostels. She took a cooking class.
I saw that.
Yeah. So she's learning how to make some of that food that I hope she brings back some really good recipes because I am in love with Peruvian food right now.
Well, she's got a nice big kitchen to do that.
She has a nice big kitchen thanks to my wonderful real estate agent.
Oh, so here's the other thing I just realized. Your kitchen is blue.
It is blue,
and it's a BeLOCal.
And BeLOCal is this the scheme is definitely skews blue. So there we go.
I like it.
Yeah, really, really great. So anyway, magical trip. Highly recommend. Anywhere you look, you're just reminded you're in a great place. Like you're in a special place. And
now you come back refreshed.
Yeah.
And
energized.
Yeah. I know you're happy. Like it's Energizer Bunny's back today.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Hit the ground running back with BeLOCal because we're so close to the finish line of this launch. We've got it looks like June 1st is going to be our first issue.
That's awesome.
Can
I get an autograph?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, get your own copy. I'll sign it. I love it. And we'll I'm looking for a handful of more partners to come on board before we launch. I'd like to have a couple few more.
Is there any type of partners in specific that you think would?
I'd like HVAC. Okay. I'd like somebody that works in pediatrics, so like pediatric medicine. A lot of families move in town, and like we need a good pediatricians, right? I look for like a daycare or even a doggy daycare. That's really good.
Okay.
Let's see, optometrist, orthodontist, things like that. Again, we're like orthodontist kind of in that pediatric side is probably where I've got little holes.
Okay.
Where I want to provide some recommendations that I just don't have the right person, the right fit. But at the end of the day, like we are, it's just going to continue to get better and grow as we continue to morph everything to fit this community as best we can. And that's a moving target, right?
Yeah,
like the needs of Plano are going to change month to month, and we'll continue to adjust and get things in line with those new movers. So we have the best resource guide possible for when they come in.
And it doesn't have to be, they don't have to be specifically only Plano.
No.
Plano adjacent is good.
Yeah. I usually, when I'm looking at somebody, I want to make sure that they care about serving this community. So they either live within the community or around the adjacencies. There's some industries that we don't have a big footprint of that specific industry, but there's a lot that are, because just economics of like where they can keep their warehouse or something like that. Yeah. They might be in an adjacent town,
of course,
but they serve this area.
Yeah,
and they've
been embedded for a long time.
Yes,
doing all this.
Exactly.
That's great.
And I want those good local brands. So when people move in, they don't do what we do when we go to Peru and like think about falling into the comfort stuff, right? Where it's like, oh, it's easy to go to the big box store that I recognize because that was in my other town, and it's going to be about the same. But look, there's other great resources here that you just, no fault of your own, just don't have the access to, don't have the exposure to. And so we want to play matchmaker in those situations. So, so that's good. Cool trip. I do have a couple little celebrations of my friends again. And what camera are we on? Are we on me? So, new book coming out, Rebecca Stringfellow.
Right. You shared the graphics that one day, right?
Did I share this one?
Yeah,
yes, I did just a couple weeks ago. So I got my own copy. So I do want to shout that it is available. It came in front door. This is called Your Heart. It's about your heart and heart health and helping kids understand like how their circulatory system works and why it's important to maintain heart health. It's a really short read, a really fun read.
Cute.
The illustrations are fantastic. And I'm just so proud of Rebecca, who I've had the pleasure of working with for several years. And you've had the pleasure of working with for several years I think she's got a lot more of these in the hopper. So this is like one of many, and it's going to be
that's a great series. I mean, especially with kids books, if a kid is drawn to the artwork and how they're setting all of that up, to have an entire series of things like that would be a real gift to a parent to be able to walk through and just know that that's a really great go-to resource, for that type of stuff. So that's
really proud to celebrate local artists. Also, I know I've done this before, but I do have Abby Adler's 100 Things to Do in Plano Before You Die. We are doing a launch party on Thursday with the Plano Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
So from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, the Chamber of Commerce is right at Independence and Spring Creek. So it's just right down the road here, Central Plano.
I can literally throw a rock to it.
Yeah, I ride my bike to it.
Yeah.
From 4 to 6, we're going to have networking events, talk about celebrating some of the people that are in the book, talk a little bit about Plano and what makes it so great, and would love all business owners, all residents, anybody that's interested in, connecting with exciting things to do around town and celebrating the people that are part of it are more than welcome to come. We'd love to have you. That's at 5400 Independence, 4 to 6 p.m.
It's
right above. It's above the Prosperity Bank. So the first time I went, I did a lap thinking there was going to be a door that said the Chamber of Commerce, but you actually go in like you're going through the bank, and then we're upstairs. So
like a secret passageway.
It's a little bit of a secret. Yeah. There's no handshake or anything, but it's okay.
Okay, that's good.
So so those are my two big things. Kat right now is texting me that she's at a restaurant in Cusco, and the person that is her server was on. Have you seen the documentary, the Poop Cruise?
I did not watch the Poop Cruise.
Okay. So apparently this guy that she's talking with, and I'll have to get the story for later. She's like, I feel like I'm talking with a celebrity, because he's dishing this entire story of the documentary, like where they were on this cruise that just kind of broke. The whole thing broke.
See, and you're really selling this whole traveling thing to me, because I'm like, there's the Poop Cruise, there's staying in places with other people and not having I start to hive.
I think we gain a great deal of perspective when we put ourselves in unfamiliar situations with cultures and people that we're not typically used to working with.
And I don't disagree. And I moved around so much as a kid and lived all over the country, which is not, all over the world, but you go even 4 hours away, and the way of life and everything else can be dramatically different in doing so. So I was always extraordinarily resilient. I've probably gotten a little comfortable now being in Plano, and I love being here. And so I'm like, why do I need to leave?
Yeah.
I've got all my things here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
that. There too, just miles away. You think we were in Cusco, where it's like, population predominantly Catholic, and so you got these big churches and cathedrals and beautiful things. And then you get out on the Inca Trail, and you've got the Quechua people who are very focused on Mother Earth and ancestors and transferring knowledge down through generations and giving to their gods and making offerings. And we participated in a lot of those things as well. So you get to learn a lot about like where the priorities of the people come from, and it really shapes the way they act and make decisions.
Sure,
in the way,
of course it does.
And so it's just really, really, really wonderful. You come back just with perspective and I love everything about it. Like I would be traveling all the time if we could, just seeing new people.
Well, that's the goal, isn't it?
That is the goal.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So, that was. I think that's really all I had to talk about much today. Do you have anything big for this upcoming week?
No, I would just say, real estate makes the world go round, doesn't it? And
yes.
I think we're seeing a lot of things. Spring market, a little bit slower of a takeoff, a little bit of a dip from last year, even though we were expecting it to go the opposite direction. But when there are international conflicts and different things going on, that obviously can change temperaments and confidence levels and things like that.
Yeah,
so,
I think the current situation wasn't really built into the model, right? A lot of the predictions that were made for the spring really weren't expecting gas prices around 4.
No, but I do think as, we thought it was stabilizing, then maybe not, but we're still working on it and doing that kind of stuff. But what always ends up happening is people kind of get this baseline of, okay, it just is what it is, right? And so traffic is picking up. I've got, 3 different listings going on that, from all areas of the Metroplex, but different needs. People still need to move. I got a high school principal that's relocating to west of Fort Worth, and they're in Eastern Collin County, so that's not going to work anymore. They got a new job, so they got to sell a house, got to buy a house. And we've got different things. People still, moving up and moving down throughout the communities that they love. And so, there's still a need to transact. And so good product is moving quickly. And that I would like to share with everybody really quick. I went and showed this weekend and last weekend in Collin County and surrounding areas. And we have to do better preparing these homes to sell. And so that's where you are going to come in. We were talking off air, my needs, for getting my listings prepped and on the property management company, good local trusted resources that I can tap into, because it's very important, whether it's our rentals that we manage, and we manage almost 200 rentals across DFW and the tertiary markets now. And so we're very proud that we take care of those rentals really well, and we need prideful, operators and vendors to help us take care of that. But I just recognize when gas prices are at $4, everything's so much more expensive for buyers entering the marketplace. The average first-time home buyer is now 40 years old. And so I'm doing that. I'm showing first-time home buyers that are in their mid 30s, and they're just sitting there, well, how much would this cost to fix? And I guess that's not a big deal, right? The door handles are falling off. Is that really a big deal? And why are there 7 different floors touching each other and all? And then you just start to go, for $600,000, people, and I get it, but why would a buyer want to inherit your laundry list of problems that they need now to go to the drawing board and figure out how to call all the people in the BeLOCAL? Now, that'd be great for your vendors, right? To open up the magazine and go, this one, this one, this one.
I was gonna say, but it's great for my business model,
yeah, it's great for yours, except they don't know where to start. And what ends up happening is they just don't. And so they're not going to buy your house. And I think we're doing a disservice to our communities and to our clients when we're not having those critical conversations. And there are a lot of great vendors that have different types of financing programs, or, pay at close with a certain amount down, or doing that kind of stuff. And I think that's something that you should really, when you're talking to people in the magazine, because people have money, but they might not want to spend $5,000 to $8,000 at a time. But if they could, if there's a financing plan for 12 months, and things like that, those are really important.
I haven't thought about that at all.
And so that's something where it's like, hey, when we got our AC done 4 years ago, we could have paid for it, but instead it was like, okay, you've got 0 interest for 36 months. Yeah, we'll do that one, right? Because what if something else pops up and life's more expensive? And so I think vendors that also have those type of, options built in are really good, because I go back to, I get it. Even some sellers they've got a lot of unlocked equity, right? Or locked up equity in their homes, but maybe they don't have the finances to do all that work. Then it's my job to figure out, how do we do at least some of it, and how do we connect with great vendor partners that will help us achieve those plans? Because if they turn around and you fix the floors and you do the paint and you refresh it to at least it creates a white box opportunity for the new buyer, then they're excited to put their personal touches instead of inheriting your stinky mess and it smells like rotten dog. Because you haven't cleaned it in 10 years, and you probably do have some beautiful pets, but I don't need to smell them when I walk in your house.
Yeah. People want to spend their money
on the exciting.
Exciting, making their house their own instead of fixing
all the
things
rest
to
of
make
it.
it kind of status quo. So what's the big walk in the house, like what is the big red flag being like, like this, that looks like the worst, that needs to be fixed, like pre-listing?
Paint is probably the biggest return on investment anybody can do in their house.
Okay.
And
so like bright blue everywhere, greens.
Bright blue, green, taupe. I think that's awesome.
Are we still doing like basically white everything?
So I wouldn't say white. So that's the one thing, and I love all the generators and things now that you can plug in with the different paint colors. And it took 2 seconds, and I did it this morning. I've got great family that we've known for years. In fact, when we started our plant church during COVID, they were one of the families we did it with. I've told you that story, haven't I?
Plant church?
Yeah, we started a church during COVID. Because everything was shutting down.
Oh, yes, I vaguely remember.
Not like a plant church, like a church plant.
I was literally picturing like monsteras and snake plants and stuff, like in the pews.
No. I mean, no.
Praising photosynthesis.
But they've lived in a community in McKinney for years upon years and have been there for a long time. And their kids are getting a little bit older and going into middle school and high school and soon. And they were happy in the house, but it was really important to them to age up with the other kids they've grown up with. And so the schools were actually splintering off. And so they were like, hey, we really want to go into this feeder school. They ended up only moving like 5 minutes over. Great house, and they're going to be super happy there. But now we're going to sell theirs. And so I just looked at them, and they love color. They love that kind of stuff. And I said, they go, just be honest. We know you will be. I said, nobody wants your color. They want to put their own color in this house. And if they choose to paint those walls blue that you have green, then that's their thing. So right now I really like Soji white on the walls. It's a little creamier. People are going back to like warm neutrals. They're going back to ambient lighting. Okay. I mean, that kind of stuff. And so we do that. We do alabaster on the trim and doors a lot, which is a little bit crisper white, and it does create some context. And then like the number one Sherwin-Williams color this year is universal khaki.
Universal khaki, like the brown, like
just a khaki, like khaki pants. So it's like we're going back to that because those really lend towards then if you wanted, other, warmer tones of greens or, burgundies or anything else. People are really going back to color again, which is really
like
exciting.
Late 90s, like the maroon or I don't know. We moved into our house in McKinney in 98. It was in high
maroon
school.
And red.
Maroons, red.
Mustard.
We had, I wish I had the pictures of this kitchen. It was big grapes on the wallpaper.
Always.
Wallpaper with like just big ornate, not like little patterns like.
No, we're going to Tuscany, man. We're gonna skip trowel walls with tea stain and.
Now somebody told me I'm supposed to put wallpaper on my ceiling. I've got this recessed.
Yeah.
Have you been in? Yeah. Well, obviously you've been in my house. In the living room, we've got that like recessed ceiling, and they're like, "Oh my God, you need to put." Like 2 people separate have walked in and be like, you need wallpaper on that. That's what
is the accents and the pops of color are so welcomed again. Now it is very personal. So you sit there and you turn around and you did some tribal, wallpaper on the wall or on the ceiling. I might have to tell you, hey, this looks great, but we're going to cover it, if we were selling your house, which we're not. But those are the things. I still want people to live in their homes, but you should be excited to make those personal touches when after you buy it and move in. And so what we're doing is, like the kitchen cabinets were a gray. And when they painted them a dark gray, that was the color. It's not anymore. And so brightening up the house and doing all of those things is super important. So a buyer can come in at $500,000 and go, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And they're great homeowners. They're the ones that kept up on all their systems and all of the non-sexy stuff. And now we're spending about 10 grand to get the house list ready because one, it's the right thing to do. And two, it's going to sell it faster and for more money. And I don't know why we're not having those conversations. It's whether agents don't have those tools and resources and they need to find somebody like you that can help connect them to those trusted vendor partners to help them do that kind of stuff. Or we just don't know how to have those critical conversations and says, nobody wants your tired green.
Yeah.
Right. Or that
I think more it's a little bit of both, but a lot of the agents are hesitant to have those conversations because they don't want to put the pressure on what do you mean I got to spend a lot of money in order to sell this house? Can you maybe I should look somewhere else to make the right decision? Yeah. Right.
No,
or they don't have it.
They don't.
Right?
They don't have it. But there are options out there, and we should, for our community too, we need good homes that have been taken care of to enter into the marketplace. And so I would just, as a public service announcement, if you are looking to sell your home or you already have your house in the market and you're not getting the traction, then you need to go back to the drawing board and really gut check yourself and say, hey, am I selling this house because I want something nicer? Then why am I selling something that I don't even want to circulate back into the world? And I think we have to just do a better job of serving the community, serving the consumers, our clients, and everything else. And so I think that's a good hook when you're having these conversations with these vendor partners and stuff, that you're immersed in the real estate community and have a ton of great connections and agents and everything else. And that's something you can talk to them about. Look, I have agents that need to do renovations on their homes. And so not even homeowners coming in. Yeah. What does that look like? Do you have something to work with those relationships? Do you have a financing plan? Because there are a lot of older homes that are entering the marketplace that would be beautiful with just a little bit extra love and tender love and care. So
in that same vein, even if you're not moving or planning on moving right now, one of the pieces in my last 10 years of spending a lot of time in houses with people that are just starting to sell, almost every single one of them will say at some point in our conversation, I wish I would have done X before X, right? Because
I wish I would have enjoyed it.
They knew it was broken, or they knew like it could be the flooring, it could be just something that handled something doesn't work in the house. They're gonna ask you to fix it. Like you're getting by trying to like Jimmy rig it together.
100%.
Why? You're gonna have to fix it. You're gonna have to fix it. So enjoy it. Don't make it
for
work.
a little bit. Yeah. Now, don't do anything super crazy if you're talking about that. But I have plenty of people that have no intention of selling, that I sold them their house a few years ago, or their friends, and they're like, hey, down the road, we're probably going to downsize, but we're thinking we're 3 to 5 years out. We really want to renovate our kitchen. What's something that would be classic, right? What's something that we know we could still in 5 years from now would still be a draw, and those are great conversations to have. And the contractors and the vendors that are in the community need to also have those relationships to understand when they are going in and serving a client and saying, hey, we want to redo our bathroom, help guide them into some, unless they go the wackier the better and we don't care. I don't know how many times, it was funny, even these clients, they redid their bathroom, the contractor did a beautiful job, but the actual faucet is across the tub. And so you actually have to lean over and turn it on. And they're like, do we need to change it? I'm like, no, it's fine. But what a goober of a plumber or contractor that didn't think, and that's a man thing, right? Like, probably faucet should be close enough so I don't actually have to jump into the tub to turn it on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But no, that's why, I'm just so excited though for you to get connected with all of these people, because then I might reap the benefits of finding some really cool extra vendors and contractors and different things to put in my toolkit, which just continues to help serve the communities that we love.
I'm working really hard to find the best ones.
So, I know you are. It's really exciting.
Cool.
Well, off to a good week.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see you guys next Monday.